Every year when Predictions Week rolls around, the analysts on the panel treat it like their own personal championship. Brackets are drawn, playoff matchups debated, and Super Bowl picks locked in. But this year, an unusual twist occurred. Major roster news broke during Predictions Week, forcing some last-minute changes and sparking a debate over whether amending picks was fair game. One analyst admitted he had originally slotted the Falcons into the final NFC playoff spot while leaving the Packers out. That all changed when Green Bay stunned the league by adding Micah Parsons. You don't add a defensive weapon like that and still miss the postseason, he argued. In his mind, the adjustment was obvious. The Falcons were out and the Packers were in. This isn't cheating, he insisted. This is being realistic. When seismic news drops in the middle of Predictions Week, you adapt. His co-hosts laughed, but they couldn't deny the logic. Brew, however, stood firm. Nope, I'm locked in. My predictions aren't moving, he declared, brushing off the idea of tweaks, despite some back and forth about whether Chicago might get swept by Green Bay in the new reality. Before moving on to Super Bowl projections, Nick addressed something that had been bugging him all week. His claim of being the three-time defending champion of Predictions Week. Critics brought up his infamous Bears Super Bowl pick from last year as proof that he didn't deserve the crown, but Nick reminded everyone of the rules. The only time you lose points is if your Super Bowl picks miss the playoffs, he explained. By that metric, his track record was untouchable. He flashed the standings on screen. Nick with 25 points, Brew with 3, and Wilds at -5, thanks to 5 of his 6 Super Bowl selections not even reaching the postseason. The studio erupted in laughter at that number while Wilds muttered in protest. With that settled, the real predictions began. Nick revealed his bracket with trademark flair. Bills versus Chiefs in the AFC Championship, and Buccaneers versus Rams in the NFC. After theatrically unwrapping a signed Mahomes and Kelsey football and an invite to their new steakhouse, his big reveal arrived. The Chiefs would take down the Buccaneers in Super Bowl 60, with Patrick Mahomes reclaiming league MVP after a 3-year gap. Brew's path looked different. He had the Ravens knocking off the Chiefs in the AFC title game and the Packers topping the Eagles in the NFC. That set up a Ravens-Packers Super Bowl, where Lamar Jackson would finally capture his long-awaited championship. His MVP pick was just as bold, Jordan Love. I thought about Burrow, even Baker, he admitted, but Green Bay winning their division gives Love the inside track. Last year I was early on him. This year he delivers. Greg took a steadier approach. His AFC division winners were the Bills, Chiefs, Jaguars, and Ravens, while the NFC went to the Eagles, Lions, Buccaneers, and a surprise pick in the Cardinals. He also included Green Bay, Atlanta, and the Rams, noting that Sean McVay almost always finds a way into the postseason. In the end, he saw the Packers beating the Bills in the Super Bowl, while Mahomes repeated as MVP. Then there was Wilds, who leaned into his reputation for unpredictability. He insisted he'd been working on his predictions all year, then unveiled a bracket filled with curveballs. Alongside expected names like Kansas City and Baltimore, he threw in the Patriots and Titans as AFC contenders. In the NFC, his surprises were even bigger. He added both the Cardinals and the Panthers. Yes, I believe in Bryce Young, he said without hesitation. 10 wins gets you into the dance, and Carolina can get there. His Super Bowl featured the Eagles beating the Ravens in an all-birds bowl, and his MVP pick was Jared Goff. Look at the Lions' schedule, he explained. They've got the biggest rest advantage in the league, 8 games where they're fresher than their opponents. That adds up. As the show wrapped up, Nick noticed a striking pattern. Out of all 4 panelists, he was the only one to have Kansas City in the Super Bowl. So let me get this straight, he said. We all agree Mahomes is the best player alive, but I'm the only one actually putting him in the big game? The others smirked but stood their ground. Nick just shook his head. Funny how that works.